Greetings everybody, this is another vinyl finds video, and I like to call these vinyl finds of all kinds because I got a lot of different stuff ranging from classic rock and roll to new wave, and even some stuff for grandma and grandpa that's pretty old and kind of unusual for me that I think you'll be interested in. I got three of my favorite artists within this batch. We got Elvis Presley, the Beatles, and Connie Francis, and other stuff. So I think it'll be pretty interesting. I went to 3 different places to get all this stuff, and it was just a lucky run, I would say. Sometimes, you know, you have one of those times where you just keep on hitting one after the other. Good luck. And that's what started happening. So I'm going to start by showing you something that I got in my, well, this store is a store that I don't go to very often. It's a record store. It has a lot of used albums, and it's hit and miss. The only reason I don't go here that often is because it's about a 40-minute drive from my house, maybe, something like that. It's a little bit more out of the way than I'm used to. It's not a hop, skip, and a jump. But here's what I got there. It's this bootleg album by the Beatles called Sweet Apple Tracks Volume 3. It's, you know, the Let It Be sessions, Get Back sessions, you might say. This is an album that I had in my collection, in the original collection I had back in the late 70s and 80s, until I got rid of it. And this was an album, double record set actually, that I needed to get back. Get back, get it? I needed to get this back into my collection. The labels here, nothing really interesting. In fact, just this one's a plain white label, first record, and then the second record is plain with no lettering on it, gold. But this is one that was missing for a long time, and it's back. Okay, so that was the one item I got at that record store. Then we go to my favorite record store I always talk about, the one that's only moments away. And here's the Elvis item I picked up there. It's a 45 picture sleeve for the song Edge of Reality, which is a song from the movie Live a Little, Love a Little, 1968. This is like Elvis, as close to psychedelic as he ever got, this song. I really like it. And I don't usually see this sleeve anywhere. If I Can Dream is the other side. I don't know which one's the A, actually. But because I love the song Edge of Reality so much, I wanted to pick this up. So, it's a good Elvis find. And there are a lot more picture sleeves to come in future videos that are being put on the side for me. So, okay, now, here's a situation. There's an album that every time we have a contest or, you know, a thread question about what's your favorite top 5, top 10 albums of all time, this album always makes it into my top. It's the album Eat to the Beat by Blondie. But the thing that's great about this is it's been a long time in coming because I was waiting for just the perfect album. I wanted an album with shrink wrap on it, and this is the one. I found this today, just made to order. It's got the original shrink on it still, and I always like when it's got that Corvette's department store where I used to shop label on it. Now, also interesting about this is whoever owned this album must have really been proud of his or her collection, because they have the, you know, the inner sleeve is separate. I don't want to mess it up, so I'm going to put this on the side. But, you know, instead they put it into this lined sleeve. But what's interesting is, look what they wrote on here. Somebody wrote, I got this on Monday, October 1st, 1979. Actually wrote that on there and kept it on here. Put it in a special, you know, inner lined sleeve, and then put that in with the real inner sleeve and put that in the jacket. So I'm so glad I waited for my moment to get the album just the way I wanted it, and I did. And today was a very big day for Blondie and Debbie Harry, because while I was at it, I also found the Auto American album, which is a fairly common album, but this is another one that's in its original shrink wrap here. And It's in great shape. I always loved this cover. It's such a good painting of the band. So, I mean, that was really fabulous. To be able to get it like that. Okay, now this one was just $4, and I really don't know anything on it. But it's another Debbie Harry album. I love this cover, Rockbird. So somebody out there tell me if it's a good album or not. I do know a song on here, French Kissing. French Kissing in the USA, I think it is called. So, I mean, the price was right, and I was in a Debbie Harry kind of mood today. So, it was her day. Now, here's another one of my favorite albums coming up from the 1980s, the early 1980s. And this one's sealed. It's never been opened. It's an album that I've needed in my collection. And again, it's a common album. But I was waiting for just the right one, and that day arrived. Fleetwood Mac, Mirage from 1982. Never been opened. Still sealed. I will open this album and play it. This is not one I'll keep sealed. And you got the hype sticker, contains Gypsy and Hold Me on there. And then, of course, you got, remember Crazy Eddie? Crazy Eddie. His prices are insane! Anyway, got the Crazy Eddie sticker. Okay. Now, for the remaining items here. Maybe some of you people want to get out your rocking chairs, okay? Okay, we're going to start with Connie Francis. Now, what's interesting is 2 albums here. One of them here says, let me introduce this. The rest of the remaining albums I'm going to show you are from a Goodwill store. It's a Goodwill store that is also like about 40-45 minutes from my house, right around that first record store I was talking about. And I have to go there more often because they have a really nice selection. And not only do they have a nice selection, but I like the way they have their albums. They have their albums on a shelf so you could stand up and look in order at all their items. Any other Goodwill I go to, the ones closer to home, seem to have them on the ground where you got to bend and hurt your back and knees, and you know. But anyway, so I found 2 Connie Francis albums, but originally these were glued together. They were glued and they were shrink wrapped together as one album. You know, so what I had to do was I had to separate these, and I knew there was really some strong glue in here, and I knew that once I tried to separate them, I was going to ruin the back covers. There's nothing I could do. I wanted to separate them. I took glue, tried to burn the glue with a hairdryer when I got home, but the backs of these are identical. Yeah, but you can see there's damage there. You know, I couldn't help it. Treasury of Love Songs, Connie Francis. Both of these are television albums. They're very thin, very flimsy. The records practically bend. Television albums. And this one here, Sentimental Favorites, Connie Francis. So, just great for my Connie Francis collection. It was $1. The person, these were $1 each at Goodwill, and the person ringing them up didn't realize that there were 2 albums here. They were, you know, together and packaged together. So I got charged 1. And you know, as I say, this is it says right here, not sold in. These albums are not sold in stores. And they tell you how to order down here. It's those television albums by Suffolk Marketing in Suffolk County. Anyway, that's that. Now on to some other grandma and grandpa records. See what we got here. This is a 10-inch, the Glenn Miller Story. It's the, I guess, the soundtrack to the movie with Jimmy Stewart. It's not actually Glenn Miller and his orchestra. It's these recordings, blah 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 blah. Where does it say? Yeah, it's done by the Universal International Studio Orchestra. And it's got songs like Moonlight Serenade, Tuxedo Junction, In the Mood, and 8 tracks altogether. And the record needs some cleaning, pretty major cleaning. Decca, 10-inch. But, you know, for $1, I always like 10-inch records when I can find them, and for $1, I mean, you know, pretty good. Okay, I know the albums by this trio have to exist, but I never really came across any out in the wild, and that's Patty, Maxine, and Laverne, the Andrews Sisters. I've got an Andrews Sisters album in my collection, folks. I don't think any of the songs they do on here are any of their big famous ones. I mean, I know some of them by title. T for Two is on here for one. There's the back. This is in great shape. It's on Capitol Records. Get the Capitol logo up there. The record is in pretty good shape. It needs a little cleaning. Green Capitol. Don't know what year this is. I'll have to look it up. I'm guessing it's a 1950s record. I mean, they were big in the 40s. I don't know. Could this? We'll find out. Well, they didn't go to. They didn't start making LPs anyway until they got into the late 40s. So this has to be a 50s album. Okay. Well, I just split the seam a little bit. Well, I tore a little bit. Okay. That's why these got to go right into plastic sleeves, folks, as soon as you get them. Looking at my shirt here. Yeah, okay, whatever. Okay, no cracks about this one, please. No wisecracks, okay? Judy Garland, Forever Judy. This was $1 at Goodwill. And I don't have any... I think I have Somewhere Over the Rainbow on a 78. But it's got some songs here, you know, from her. Over the Rainbow, and Trolley's song, You Made Me Love You, Singing in the Rain. Look for the Silver Lining, Put Your Arms Around Me, so on and so on. So, I thought twice about it. Was I ever going to really play this? But I like Judy Garland, alright. She's got a good voice. So, this is in great shape, this record. So, MGM label. Anybody want to see the label? Okay. I thought it was an odd label. MGM Merchandising Corp. Limited edition. I don't know. Is this another television album? You can't really see with the lighting in here, but it's kind of a light bluish label. Oh, that's that. And the last record here is another one at the Goodwill store for $1, which I thought was really worth it. It's Paul, I don't know exactly, I always pronounce this Paul Moriat. Paul, isn't the T silent? Paul Moriat? Moriat? And his orchestra. They do that song Love is Blue, which is a song I really love. Have it on a 45. But to have it like this was a nice cover, and it seems to be a lot of other songs. It's on the Philips label, but everything here is in, well, it says this, I don't know, it says this is from Canada. It says distributed by Canada. It's, I can't see what the, I guess it's in French. All the writing here is not in English, it's in French, but I can read that again. It's on Philips of Canada. This is a Canadian label. So I thought that was an interesting assortment. That's the last one. And I thank all of you who watched and stuck through to the end. I was just anxious to show these. I thought it was a pretty good string of finds in a row there.